Hello and welcome to our presentation about Node.js. We're going to be talking about what Node.js is, what it can do, and as well as giving a short little demo using Node.js.
So Node.js is a server-side platform and probably one of the most efficient program for server-based application. This is based off of V8 JavaScript engine, which is mainly developed for Google Chrome. Node.js was created by Ryan Dahl. The reason why he created Node.js is because other platforms was not as efficient as they can be. So what if we were able to send and receive packages concurrently instead of waiting the processor to handle it one at a time?
So, Node.js is a command line tool, unlike other JavaScript uses, which are more web-based, web browser-based. This is more command line. It is used to create server-side and networking applications for browsers. It is mostly meant for back-end development. It could be used in front-end development depending on the module you import. However, our module is a library. However, it's mostly just back-end. So it allows web developers to take JavaScript in front end, as well as still have JavaScript from Node.js in the back end instead of having to use PHP, ASP.NET, and link it together. Now you have JavaScript and JavaScript together.
Implementation of JavaScript is actually very useful because it lets us have event loops which we can handle with. Node.js utilizes event loops. So unlike other server-side platforms such as PHP, which has a multi-thread, Node.js only has a single thread with an event loop. You may ask a question why this is better. One of the main reasons why is because when we multi-thread, there's a chance for an error such as deadlock or wrong output. Another implementation of Node is having a non-blocking inputs or output. When operating these functions, it will take time, it will take over the current processor and block anything else until it's finished. So when Node.js was implemented, he created callback functions in order to maintain a synchronous order.
So here we have a simple multi-threaded server that takes requests from multiple users, and it sends them to the multi-threaded server where there's threads, and from those threads they serve the request and send it back out to the client. However, now imagine if this multi-threaded server had some million people in it. You could imagine how many threads there would be, as well as if a user is refreshing, it creates threads based upon how many times they're refreshing plus their original connection. So now there'll be 4 threads, maybe per person, maybe 2 threads per person, and with a million people, that's a lot of threads, and threading does create significant overhead, especially if you don't have enough cores to handle all the threading. So we know that the most efficient threading is, say you have 8 cores on your machine, like the picture down here, then you should at most create 8 new threads for your server. However, so what Node.js does over here is it implements an event loop where, say we have these 4 users, these clients, and they send their IO request to the event loop. Then what's going to happen is that the event loop will take the request and then basically just send it right back, send it to the event handler, and that event handler will handle the request. And so the event loop is once again free, so it'll immediately take the request and send it off, take the request and send it off. So that way the single threading will be efficient and still remain concurrent because it just takes the request and sends it to event handler, and the event handler handles the rest. So we're going to be basically demoing a little web server that was created which handles echo requests. So let me just pull up Google Chrome over here. So I have this server, so all that it does is, so if I enter Kunal within the text box, it will take it, the server will handle the request and send it back out to all the clients. It's just a basic echo. So let's say we enter Paul in there, press submit. It sends it back to all the clients, and there's not much to be shown here in terms of the single threading done because there's just not that large of a server. It would take a very large server to show the effects of this asynchronous with the event loop and the event handlers. So over here we have the JavaScript code. So what is going on is we import the HTTP module, then we create the server. That server will handle requests and responses based on this over here. And so we're going to listen, the server's going to listen for connections at port 800, and then it's going to create the socket, which will handle the incoming message and send the connection between the client and the server. So that socket's going to be connected to the server at port 8080, And so what's going to happen is on connection, when there's a request sent to the socket, what's going to happen is the socket's going to connect to the client. It's going to accept the connection based upon echo protocol, which is just echoing back what we're going to do and what the message is, and we're going to create a new client and add it to the list of clients that we have just for bookkeeping. And then we want to, if there's a message that is sent from the client, then we're going to save it, and we're going to basically just go through all the clients in our client list and send the client message back to the client. And it's as simple as that. The HTTP module makes it very simple to create a web server, and we have one more event handler, which is connection on close. When it closes, when the connection is closed between the client and the server, it just gets rid of the client from the client list. And so that's basically all that this is, and there's just a basic HTML front end written here, which is a client code. And yeah, so let's say we do lettuce. It sends it out, and it's basically like a very simple chat, which doesn't have names or anything, but yeah, that's basically our little web server that we have.